Hi folks, Tom with Friskified Fitness. At the extreme end of intermittent fasting, time restricted eating, is a thing called OMAD, 1 meal a day, which, as the name implies, you're only eating 1 meal a day. That's it, just 1 meal, 1 meal. And it works for fat loss because you're missing out on a few meals. Your time restriction winds up being a calorie restriction. And I've tried doing OMAD for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'll tell you my experiences and who I think each one of those would be best for. Let's get at it. First up, breakfast. Now, I love a huge breakfast. I love starting my day with a huge breakfast, except it's not really starting my day. My day starts in the gym before the sun comes up. Now, because while I'm an older guy, I'm still in the workforce, so I've got to get to work. So I found that I really had to shovel everything into my face as fast as possible, which is not necessarily the best thing for you. I couldn't do that all the time. In fact, I wound up being more of a 24 intermittent fasting protocol where I kept eating till 11, so I was eating in a window of 4 hours. That wasn't what I was going for. So if you have time in the morning, go ahead, give it a try. It did not work in my situation. Next up, lunch. Now, I give myself a half hour to eat lunch. It's because of the nature of my job, I take half an hour. Now, trying to get all of your macros and enough calories in, it's very difficult in a half hour. You really have to shovel that food in. And I found it exceedingly difficult. And I wound up extending the length of time in which I was eating until about 4. Again, it was more of intermittent fasting and less OMAD. And that wasn't what I was going for. There were a few days, though, when I was able to get all of the food in an hour. Now, I'm able to extend my lunch period without asking permission or begging forgiveness because I'm 60. I don't do that anymore. But I still had to shovel that food in. Now, what happened was that was an extra half hour that I was eating instead of being productive. I didn't like that so much. Additionally, it wrecked my afternoon productivity because I felt bloated and sluggish because my body was digesting all that food. Not a fan. Not a fan. I would rather be productive than stuffed and bloated. Now, if you have an alternative schedule, this might work for you because you can live through the hunger pains in the morning, reward yourself at lunch, take your time eating the lunch, and still not have to worry about hunger in the evening. For me, it didn't work so well. And now we talk about dinner. Yeah, I've tried doing OMAD for dinner. Now, because I work out first thing in the morning, as I mentioned, I like to eat immediately afterwards. I'm usually just famished. And even though the metabolic window, there's a lot of debate on that, whether it's a thing or not, I prefer to get nutrition around my workouts. And eating in the evening, it was a long ways from my workout. And I don't know if it affected the gains I could have potentially have gotten. But it took me about 2 hours to eat dinner, to hit all my macros, and that's 2 hours out of my evening, which I was just shoveling food into myself. But 2 hours, I have other things to do in the evening. When you own a house, there's always something to do. There's always something to do. Additionally, I don't really like going to bed bloated and with my belly just stuffed full of food. It affects my sleep. I'm not a huge fan. Now, this could work for you If you're a night owl, if you eat early and you give yourself a chance to have the food digest, that could work out for you. So which would I prefer? Eating in the mornings, the afternoons, or evenings? None of them. I prefer to eat throughout the day. I really like having food available to myself. Having said that, on the weekends, I don't hit the gym. Those are my off days because I'm busy doing other stuff. In fact, I'm often so busy that I don't have a chance to eat during the day, and I don't wind up eating until evening. So I do, in fact, do the OMAD over the weekends, most weekends. Now, do I hit my macros when I do that? No, I don't. And does that hurt the gains? Maybe, but it also keeps the weight in check. You got to give a little to get a little. Is it optimal? No. But it is something that just out of schedule, I wind up doing over the weekends, most weekends. Do you do OMAD? Do you eat just one meal a day? I would love to hear about your experiences down in the comments below. And if you do some other form of IF protocol, let me know that in the comments down below as well. And while you're there, remember to like and subscribe. It really helps out. That's about it for today. My name's Tom. This is Friskified Fitness. We'll see you next time.